Jose Mourinho is not only one of the most famous football managers in the world, but also someone who has left a significant mark at any club he has coached. With over 20 years of career, Mourinho has won countless major and minor titles with various teams. However, there is an interesting point in Mourinho's career that not everyone pays attention to. Many clubs that parted ways with the special one struggled to maintain their form and success afterward. The last three teams to say goodbye to Mourinho, Manchester United, Tottenham, and AS Roma, have clearly felt this effect. Manchester United is one of the biggest clubs in England, and Mourinho's appointment as head coach in 2016 raised great expectations among fans. In his first season, Mourinho helped the Red Devils win 3 titles: the League Cup, the English Super Cup, and the Europa League. However, tensions between Mourinho and the players, as well as the club's management, led to his dismissal at the end of 2018. The playing style under Mourinho was described by a senior Man United official as boring, which partly led to the decision to sack the 55-year-old coach. Another reason pointed out was that Mourinho had spent nearly £400 million on 11 signings during his tenure, showing he was fully supported financially. Another story that surfaced in 2016 is that Mourinho's close friends advised him not to take the hot seat at Old Trafford because they believed Manchester United had not modernized since Sir Alex Ferguson's departure. Mourinho disliked the scouting system and did not get along with some members of the club's medical staff. They felt insulted when Mourinho chose to communicate via email. Some senior members of Man United's medical team didn't even have the opportunity to speak with Mourinho directly for 18 months. Mourinho once proudly called his runner-up finish with Manchester United a much bigger achievement than winning the Champions League with Porto, Inter Milan, or the Premier League titles with Chelsea. In reality, second place is not a title. But Mourinho was still proud because taking such a poor squad to finish second behind Manchester City was a feat in itself. After Mourinho's departure, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was appointed as interim manager, bringing a short-term revival with a string of consecutive wins. Under Solskjaer, Manchester United initially made positive strides, reaching the Europa League semi-finals and finishing second in the Premier League in the 2020-21 season. However, the reality showed that the team still lacked stability and did not win any significant titles. Solskjaer was unable to maintain long-term form, with the team displaying a lack of identity, weak defense, and a lack of creativity in attack. Despite not having a bad squad, Manchester United often struggled in big matches, highlighting the tactical inconsistency and loss of the fighting spirit that Mourinho had instilled. The defensive solidity, discipline, and ability to perform in big games under Mourinho were lost, replaced by instability. With a series of poor results against weaker opponents, United often struggled to control matches, lacked decisiveness in defense, and failed to capitalize on scoring opportunities. This was most evident in big games like defeats against Liverpool and Manchester City, where the team was completely outplayed both tactically and mentally. The instability in managerial changes was also a key factor. After Solskjaer was sacked at the end of 2021, Ralf Rangnick was appointed as interim manager, but failed to bring about a positive change. Despite being highly regarded for his tactical experience, Rangnick could not implement his philosophy at the club. Manchester United continued to sink deeper into crisis, with unnecessary losses, falling further away from the top teams. This decline became even more apparent when compared to Mourinho's successful seasons. Although criticized for his pragmatic and inflexible tactics, Mourinho remains the last manager to bring major silverware to Manchester United. This shows that despite his controversial style, Mourinho's management was indeed effective in creating a disciplined team capable of competing in major tournaments. Beyond tactics, one of the key reasons for Manchester United's decline after Mourinho's departure was the lack of cohesion in the dressing room. Under Mourinho, despite personal conflicts with some players, the team maintained a strong fighting spirit. In contrast, after his exit, many Manchester United players seemed to lose motivation and failed to show the highest level of determination on the pitch. Tottenham Hotspur is the next club to experience a difficult period after sacking Mourinho. Appointed in 2019, Mourinho came with the hope of helping Spurs win the titles they had long craved. Under his leadership, Tottenham had moments of brilliance, especially when they topped the Premier League early in the 2020-21 season. However, inconsistent form and internal conflicts led to Mourinho's dismissal, and since then, Tottenham has been in a prolonged slump. After Mourinho left, Tottenham placed their trust in Ryan Mason, who was appointed as interim manager. However, despite being a former player for the club, Mason lacked experience in the head coach role, and this became evident in key matches. Tottenham failed to overcome Manchester City in the League Cup final, losing the chance to win their first major trophy since 2008. This was a huge psychological blow for the club, as this final was seen as a great opportunity for Mourinho to deliver silverware. Following the 2020-2021 season, Tottenham appointed Nuno Espirito Santo as head coach, but this decision also proved unsuccessful. Under Nuno, Spurs continued to struggle with inconsistent form, and the team's play became lackluster. The defensive counter-attacking system Mourinho had built was gradually phased out, but Nuno failed to establish an effective attacking style in its place. As a result, Tottenham only managed unconvincing wins and consistently dropped points against weaker teams. After a string of poor results, Nuno was sacked just a few months into the job. Antonio Conte was appointed in November 2021 with the hope of bringing stability and helping Tottenham return to the top four race. However, under Conte, Tottenham also failed to show significant improvements in performance and team spirit. In January 2024, AS Roma sacked Mourinho, leaving fans with a sense of regret. The Italian capital club then placed their trust in Daniele De Rossi, a former player of the club.